Hi, it's Megan. So I have been a little bit less vigilant doing my YouTube videos just because, oh gosh, first I was traveling to Korea and then I got this awful flu where even if I'd wanted to do the videos and I didn't look so great, my voice just wasn't there. So it would have been, my voice still actually isn't fully there. So hopefully you can understand me. It's just, you know, kind of that scratchy voice kind of thing. Like I've been smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day for the past week, but it's actually the flu. So this is the Tom Ford Raw Beauty Jade Eye Color Duo. So this is their very small spring collection release, which is 3 of these duos, which were a Jade, which is a green, plum, and then indigo, which is deep blue. And they have one of the darker, intense shades, and then they have one of these lighter kind of sort of shimmery, what's a good way of describing it? Just iridescent, really, shades. And you can put the 2 together to get an entirely 3rd shade. Then they had some fingernail polish, which I don't wear. And then they also had one of their cream eyeshadows, which is actually going to be part of the summer collection too. So from my understanding, that's only available at tomford.com and Neiman Marcus and only online until the summer. So what I have here is raw jade. These are $60 for 0.13 ounces. And every time I talk about the Tom Ford price point, it's like, oh God, that's just so much. But you know what? The quality is usually there. So what did I think of this? So you get it in the beautiful packaging with, you know, your little brown. It feels like suede, although I know it's not, but it's even better than like the velvet ones. And then this beautiful thing, which as soon as I like breathe on it, look at it, has fingerprints on it, but whatever, they're still beautiful. And then you open it up like this. And I will say that I didn't use the brushes, but they're fine. And you get this little mirror. So there is one shade. They don't name the shades, and there's shade number 2. So shade 1 and shade 2. So they say that this can be used wet or dry, with dry as sleek and soft finish, or the wet for a bold and chromatic finish. The green, the lighter one, is almost like one of the MAC in extra dimension shades I have. That white with the green undertone to it. NARS Dual Intensity is a lot like it. Estee Lauder, Jade, there's a bunch of others as well. But for me, kind of where I got this almost duochrome white other shade thing was from the MAC in Extra Dimension. And so I'm always happy to see these types of shades come out because I just find them so useful. But let's look at the palette in a whole. Obviously I like that shade. I don't love that shade. So this is what it looks like. And the reason, I don't know if it'll show on camera, I doubt. It'll show in the actual swatches from outside, which I will have already put in the video, but they have this like almost linen type texture to the top of the shadow, which does wear off a little bit. That's why I was only playing, if you can see, I was only playing with one side of it because I wanted to keep that texture, and then I wanted to play around, obviously, putting it on. So this is the first one, number 1. This is what it looks like. And you can see, I'm going to try to twist it in the sun because I like to have the natural light in the room when I do the video because then you can kind of see. But anyway, it does shift a little bit, although honestly I think this one shifts a little bit less than the in Extra Dimensions. This one's really more green and white, you know, whitish green, whatever, as opposed to one that shifts back and forth between white and green. And it's a little metallic. It's not so metallic that I can't wear it. If a shadow is too metallic, I feel like on me, because I've got a slightly warm undertone, it just doesn't work. It's just a little too cool on my skin tone, but this one doesn't hit that level of metallic. It just almost has kind of a slight yellowish to it, which also keeps it, I don't know, a little warmer. It's brighter and more metallic when I use it wet, but I didn't notice that big a difference, honestly. And it's pretty smooth, and I don't know, you can start seeing a little hesitation in what I'm saying. It's definitely finely milled. These are great quality shadows. I mean, look at just one quick little swipe and it applies beautifully, but I felt they were a little bit stiff. I felt like building them up, more so the darker shade, which I'll show in a minute. I found that one really hard actually to build up. Building them up was a little bit harder than I expected. And also they weren't quite as soft and creamy as a lot of the Tom Ford shadows I've seen in the past. And I am by no means an expert on Tom Ford shadows because I'm relatively new to the brand, although I've been incredibly impressed with the quality. These are still really, 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 really good shadows. They're not quite up to my expectation of Tom Ford shadows. Let's put it that way. And the problem with the Tom Ford price point is like every little deviation from what you expect takes off a lot. But I do like them. They're beautiful colors. They're just a little stiff, a little harder to work with, and hard to build up, which we'll get to that in a second. So the second one right here, shade number 2, is a very pretty olive, khaki, whatever kind of color you call these. Okay, this is one of the few times I actually did a double swipe with my finger. So I'm actually going to do one without the double swipe. So this is a double swipe right there, and this is a one swipe. It's a little hard for me to build this shade up, especially with a brush. So I've occasionally had a few snarky comments on the videos about you can't use a finger, that's old school or whatever. Well, first of all, usually it's coming from people who are just trying to make snarky comments, but you know what? Some shadows you actually can't build up with a brush. You actually need a finger to build up. I have a hard time building up this particular shade too darkly with a brush alone. With my finger, I get much better build up of the shade. So that wouldn't be an issue because I don't really like to build up super dark shadows, except, there goes my voice, when I put the lighter color over the darker one, I find it really hard to get the transformative effect of the color with the brush because I need to build it up a little bit more and then put on a little bit more of the lighter shade to the point where you have to press really hard, which you need a finger to do, which I don't know if that makes sense. So anyway, we're going to take another swatch of this one right here, and so remember, so you can see how it transforms. So you now have a totally different third color. And I just did a little bit more. You can see how different it is. But when I do it just with a brush, see, okay, when I take this green and put it on with a brush, it comes off as kind of a little patchy. And this, by the way, is a very high quality brush. And then when I build it up, I almost can't get the transformative effect all that much. It just is very soft. You can see the difference between the one with the brush and the one done with my finger. So that would be my big issue. I think that these are beautiful shadows, really unusual, amazing colors. I love the transformative effect. They don't wear so great on me. They wear about 5 hours flawlessly, like beautifully, but then I feel like they start fading after the 5-hour time period. So overall, if you look at how beautiful the shades are, they're just really stunning, beautiful, amazing shades, and applied correctly, they're just, I don't know, they're just something that's really not out in the market anyway, and I've only got the Jade, I haven't seen the other colors. So I really do like this a lot. I don't want this to sound like it's a negative review, because it's not. It's just once you start getting in this price point, every little thing matters. So overall, I really think these are nice shadows. It's not a palette that I just absolutely could not live without, but I do really like it, and the shades are shimmery, metallic, not shimmery as in glittery, beautiful. They do wear better with a primer, but they are not that easily replaced, I guess is a better way of saying it. They're really pretty shades. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Please subscribe on YouTube. I would love feedback. If you have these, I would love to hear about the other shades if you have them as well. And that's it. Thanks.